Okay, so in today's video, we're going to be teaching you how to fit a garden tap. Not one garden tap, but two garden taps, DIY style. You don't need any special tools. I'll show you exactly what you need. So we're going to show you everything you need to know, all the materials you need, all the tools you're going to need to fit these garden taps. Cue the intro.
That was terrible. Cut.
What do you mean? Stop the video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and press the little bell button. Otherwise, this thing's going to get you. I'm giving you 5 seconds to do it. Otherwise, it's going to get you. Do it quick, quick. Is it gone yet? I knew you messing about. Right, okay, back to the video. So this is the water main. So this is the incoming water main. It's an absolute nightmare. So I tried turning this off. It's seriously seized up, so I'm just leaving that one for now. That's a job for another day. So I'm not in a position to be able to actually turn the water off. Over here you've got the hot and cold pipes underneath the kitchen sink. So we'll be connecting onto these two. Just showing you around. So the washing machine is connected to the cold pipe, you can see there. So we've got a little bag underneath because we're going to take this trap off. So you've got your dishwasher, which is that side there, and then you've got the washing machine, which is on the left hand side. So you're trying to empty out as much water out as possible with those parts there. The bag is pretty good because the bag actually catches the water. You can put a bucket underneath, but I usually just keep it simple and use a rubble bag. Bung a bit of tissue in the waste pipe to make sure no water basically comes back with the smells. When you're working underneath there, sometimes it can kick up the smell. So we've got some of the materials we're going to be using today over here, so we're going to run through most of that. So basically what we've got here is Hep 2O. So we're using 15mm push fit Hep 2O. Out of most of the push fits, this is what I'd recommend mostly to use. These are some of the materials that we're going to be using on this particular project. There are Hep removal keys, so once you've done the push fit and you push the pipe into the actual push fit itself, there are ways of removing. So I'll show you what I mean. So this is a Hep 2O 15mm push fit fitting, and this is a Hep removal. So for this is the push fit fitting. I'm going to be popping that inside like that, and then it pushes in. There's like a certain sound it makes. Obviously I've been doing it for a while. There's a certain sound it makes, and there's a certain feel. You get a certain feel. But what I'd recommend is if you're using push fits, so on this, get your first one in, make sure it's fully in, and then mark. So what I do is, if you're unsure, so I mark the pipe. So look, pencil mark the pipe like that, and I get my Hep removal key. It just pops around the side of it there, like that, and then if you pull on it, it's got like little teeth, it pushes on. If you can see there, I don't know if you can see, my pencil mark is on there, so I now know on it, all of the fittings it needs to be that distance. So get my tape measure, and to me that is around 33mm. It pushes into the fitting around 33mm. So you can, when you cut your pipe work, you can measure before you're about to put it in 33mm on the actual pipe. So then when you push it in, you know that it's fully home. Okay, so it's as simple as that. So I'd recommend you do that. If you're not experienced, I'd recommend you do that. Mark all of the pipes that you're about to push into the actual fitting themselves, so then you know it's all. So you're going to need a garden tap, this bad boy right here. So that's the garden tap. It's got a thread on the end. You've got this bad boy here, so this is the back plate. So this will just literally screw into the top of that, and this part actually goes in the wall itself. So we use liquid PTFE. Okay, so you're going to need a screw gun or an impact driver, or you could just use a screwdriver. You're going to need a drill. So you need this drill to drill through the wall for the actual pipe to go through for the garden tap. You're going to need a level. I'd recommend you get a level, either that one or a laser. You're going to need a basic spanner, so something like this will do. One pencil, Hep 2O removal key, 15mm push fit elbow. You're going to need a 15mm pipe slice, and a tape measure. It's all the way home. organising the fittings that we've got here. Now on top, I like to sort of put as much together as I can up on top first, rather than going through it stage by stage. You'll see why in a minute. You see here, look, so you can mark the fitting, you see, like that, then actually push it in, and then you can check your pencil mark to see how far you've pushed it in to make sure it's correct. I'll be doing the same with most of it, but like I say, I've been working with push fit for years, so I know exactly the feel. But when it's in awkward positions, I'll always mark it. So if I'm in an awkward angle and I need to get a fitting in, I'll always mark it just to make sure. So underneath the actual kitchen sink itself, I'll offer up the pipe where I need it. So like, put it together. So now I'll pencil mark the actual pipe work that's underneath the kitchen sink, and then pretty much cut out the section I need. But I'll show you what I'm doing here. So that's a 15mm pipe slice I'm using. And if you remember earlier, I was saying it's this bad boy here. Again, you can pick that up from Screwfix. That's getting hot. Again, you can pick that up from Screwfix. There's no special place you know, or a plumber's merchant you can get it from. So again, we're offering it up underneath here, pencil marking, because that one's actually the hot pipe. So we're pencil marking where we're going to cut the actual pipes. Okay, so then we're cutting it down, cutting a piece of pipe down now, offering it up, making sure it's all correct. Because we want the lines to end up the same, so we want the pipework to meet up, so it's basically the same. So that's why on top of the sink area, I'm trying to offer it all up now, so it's the same. Again, there's no rule of thumb with it. You can do it however you want. This is just one way that we do it. So now, cutting into the pipe, I'm actually cutting into it live. So I've got the client to turn on the taps upstairs, so it releases the pressure, but I'm cutting into this live. This is not something that I'd recommend doing, but like I say, I'm quite experienced in this. So as long as you can get it done quick and you've pre-made your pipes, then you should be fine. Like pre-made what you're going to do. So bam, thumb off, thumb back over that part there. Oh, camera drops on the floor. You know, it could be sometimes squeaky bum time. You've got to cut into it. You've just got to go for it. So if you're going to do it live, you need to cut into it. Like I say, any DIY I wouldn't recommend to do this live. Always recommend turning the water off. Got it on. But we've basically reduced the pressure. So I've turned on the taps upstairs, flushed the toilet, so the water's diluted that's coming into the house. So I'm not getting the full force coming out. So actually, now leave them I've cut that on. Obviously the camera's wet. So I've cut that on. I've got an isolation valve on there. I've managed to connect everything up. What I would say is if you're doing this, always make sure you've got like a 15mm stop cap if you're going to do it live, to basically ensure that if you can't get the fitting on for whatever reason, you can still cap the pipe off. But like I said, I've been doing this for a while now, and yeah, sometimes you just got to get the job done. All right. So again, we're going to do it with the hot. Ladies actually got a combi boiler, so I could turn it off upstairs. So realistically, underneath I can turn it off. Again, the valve underneath the boiler looked a bit dodgy. I didn't want to play around with it. Just didn't want it leaking. So again, we're cutting into this live, put a bag underneath. As long as you're quick with this, put a thumb over it. I've got the fitting pre-made. I've already done it up on top. Camera's dropped. No. So thumb over it, like I say, there's not a lot of pressure. I've actually turned the boiler off, so no hot water will be coming through. And again, fitting ready. And then thumb off, quickly push that fitting on. Like I say, push fit, I can feel it going. And this part I struggled a little bit actually to get the hot water pipe, because you've got to line it up straight before you push it onto it. I have to lift it up and then push it in. The only thing is with this, I must admit I weren't happy with it. I thought I had a bit more play with the hot pipe. So I've actually had to redo that. I've actually had to take that back out and redo it. You'll see what I mean later on in the video. But the idea is, see here now, look, so I've got an isolation valve, I've got an isolation valve on both the hot and cold, so now they're connected as such, without having to turn the water off. So I've got two isolation valves on there, and what I'm going to do now is just give it a little clean up, because there's a bit of water there. Give that a good old clean up. And then here, so what I'm basically doing is pencil marking. I'm using a laser on this. You can use a level. There's no rule of thumb. But I'm pencil marking exactly where the pipes come through the wood. So if you see there, I'm actually pencil marking exactly where the pipes come through and then drawing a line across. Because the idea is we want isolation valves underneath the kitchen sink. Well, we'll go into that in a minute, but I pencil mark it. So then, do you see? So as it comes through the wall, it's in the same line as the pipes. So now we're basically going to go across, down, and then along to where the pipes need to be for the actual outside garden taps. That's the one again. So like I say, we're pencil marking in the middle of the actual fittings itself and holding it up. The thing is, like I say, you can get a tape measure, you can measure it up. I'm just doing it in a quick way to show you. Again, I'll mark in between the middle of the fitting, and then I'll ping my laser across and then mark the actual wall itself. So I'll mark one way, lift those bad boys up, see there again in the center line of those clips, and then I'll ping a laser line across again, like so. So then I know that they're perfectly straight. Like I say again, you can just use a level. You don't actually have to use a laser. It's me just being a bit posh. The one, screwing those bad boys in. So these are talon clips, little hinge clips, 15mm. The ones we put the pipes down and across. Again, you can use a tape measure if you like. I just like to offer up the pipe and then cut it. Same again with that. So the idea again is that we're coming across from the hot and cold. We've got 2 isolation valves to turn the actual taps off from inside if we need to. So now we're going to drill through. So I've pre-piloted 2 10mm holes, and now we're going through in 22mm. So I like to, like I say, pre-pilot just to see that. So drilling through, how I found basically what height to drill through at. I've measured from the top of the windowsill, down to roughly where I want them to come out, and then on the other side of the window. So like on the outside, you can measure from the windowsill, so it should be the same either side, down where you want your pipes to come through. So I've worked out that mortar line is there. So then I've measured down and drilled through. So you should sleeve the pipe that goes through the wall in 22mm. So I've sleeved it with a bit of 22mm pipe, and now we're going to fix the back plates. So these are the back plates for the actual taps themselves. So I like to offer it up against the wall, pencil mark it. On this part, I'd recommend maybe not using a hammer, so like a proper hammer drill, because you can bust the brick. On this particular drill, the hammer mode isn't aggressive, so yeah, you can just drill through. So we're drilling through here with a 6mm drill bit, or it might even be a 5.5, can't remember. But it's just, usually I use a 6mm drill bit for brick, and then that is a 6mm walker. We're popping those round. Like I say, it's crucial that you don't bust the brick, so you need to be really careful when you drill through, that you're not using a drill that's overcast. So we're using silicone here. So basically I put a bit of silicone around the actual back plate itself, because like I say, it's on the outside, so you just want to make sure it's completely sealed. Then we put the back plates, go straight through the wall onto there, like so, and you see it ooze out a little bit, the silicone. You see, like that. We line them up. Again, this is just one way of doing it. It's entirely up to you. And what I would recommend is when you're screwing these in, put all the screws in a little bit first, and then screw the whole thing back. Because if you put one all the way in and the other holes aren't lined up, you're going to have a nightmare getting the screws in. So again, I'm going to do exactly the same here again. Line it up, screw them in just a little bit, and again a little bit, and then you can screw them all the way back after that. But it's crucial to make sure it's lined up correctly first before all 3 screws are in. Give it a little wipe off. And then this stuff's called liquid PTFE. So this is the light, the Loctite one rather, and we put it on the thread. So we're actually putting it around the thread on the tap. So this creates the seal basically between the back plate and the actual tap itself. It's the one like that, and then it's clockwise. It's the one. So it's clockwise to tighten. You don't need to go crazy tightening this either. As long as you get near to the end part of the thread, if it's straight, then that's fine. This stuff goes off hard, so you won't have to move the tab afterwards once it's gone off. It takes a couple of minutes to go off, but once it's gone off, that's it. It's like rock. And then we're going to do the same again on the other tap. So this one's the cold tap. Screw that on, so that's clockwise again. Be sure not to put the taps too close together, because obviously if you go to actually screw them on, they can get in the way of each other. So I'm just using a spanner again here, just to tighten the tap, because you've got to last piece the thread.
Yeah,
Give it like an extra nip. Give it a little clean up. Again, I'm just using the wet wipe here. So this is the inside. So I don't know if you noticed the hot. I've changed the pipe, but that will be the hot valve on the inside, and then that's the cold valve. So I don't know if you can see, the hot water goes through there and then goes outside, and then same with the cold, it will go through that valve there, come through, and then go outside again. So you can control it from the inside. That is the idea, basically, because in the winter months when it gets really cold, pipes freeze on the outside and split. I've noticed some taps do that quite a bit. You can get like a lagging kit that goes over the top of the actual tap itself, but in the winter months, like I say, I just get the client to turn it off if they want the taps off. I recommend they turn it off. Usually they use it in the summer mainly anyway, but that is the idea. You put a couple of isolation valves inside. Again, you don't have to do this.
Nando's.
You could just go straight out. And the client's bought me some Nando's for lunch. Look at that, banging. So I get medium. I get a medium spice, half chicken, chips and rice. Come on, you gotta love a bit of Nando's. It's brilliant when a client's like that. But yeah, we're just gonna fit a hose. So this is like a wall-mounted one. So we got this one again from Screwfix actually. You can get this from like Homebase, B&Q, them sort of places. Most plumbers merchants don't really sell hoses like this, if that makes sense. So a little look. So you've got to put like a bottom mounted fixing on this. I think this is the second time I fitted one of these. Yeah, so you mount it on the bottom and at the top. So it's 2 screws. You see there, just marking it up, gauging it, going to drill through. Again with a 6mm fine. Put that in position. So, do you see? So it hooks onto the bottom. Then you offer up the top one. So you hook it in, offer up the top one, hold it in place, and drill it. Again, this is the second time I've fitted one of these, so there might be different ways of doing it, and there might be more useful and helpful ways of doing it. But this is just how I've done this particular one. There is instructions. There is instructions that come with it, so you can. I would definitely recommend reading through that. The inside part. The reason why I say that, because the inside part of this is a pain in the arse. Like straight up is a nightmare. So you got to undo it, pull it all the way through. It gives you a load of components and parts. Really look through what you need, because you need to connect it inside. It goes through this little valve that's on the side there, and then I use these bad boys here. So these are quite durable. You put these on the actual tap themselves. So you take off the ones that come with it and you put those on the tap. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll show you it goes through. It's a nice, neat setup. It's just simple, nice, neat setup. But I'll show you. Yeah, we'll put these on. I'll show you how I actually put these on. So you take those off, screw these bad boys on. Same again with that. You can use the plastic ones. They are slightly cheaper. I use these ones because they're more durable. Because all you need to replace on them eventually is just the rubber washer. Do you see it pops on? Same again with the hose connection. You can get a brass one as well. And at a later date, if you get any problems with it, you can just replace the O-ring. And then on here, you can just pull the hose like that. You can, don't get me wrong, you can twist the little thing, but pull the hose on there. So now I'm just trying to explain to the client exactly how to use it.
You're turning it off.
He's been waiting for a long time.
That's it, turn it all the way on.
And then you anti-clockwise to turn the tap on.
That's it.
And then you have to hold to the actual
yellow bit,
grey part.
Hold the grey bit.
And then twist
the around.
The yellow
bit,
tip
that's it.
For it to come
and then
on.
twist the top.
And she gets a little surprise. Little surprise there.
There we go.
Complete outside. So she's in masonette on top of shops, but she's got like a big sort of garden area.
So that
big
pool's
flat sort of garden area.
Obviously, if you want it to go out more,
fake grass. She wants
just
to water
undo
plants, things like that.
that for it to go in.
But yeah, you can twist that
for it to go out, or just pull it to be
really back in. But it's nice and neat and compact and out of the way. The client is over the moon with it. And I think she's getting like a paddling pool. So the idea with the hot and cold tap is again, so she can have the paddling pool, chill out, because in the summer months it's boiling, and it just takes the chill off the pool. Especially when you've got kids and it's freezing when you're going to get into the pool. Turn the hot water tap on, job done.
And then here,
again, you can demonstrate anti-clockwise.
Have that tap on, so that's the hot side.
Clockwise.
And then this is the cold side. I'm just going to turn it off for 2 seconds.
Dirty.
That's the cold side. And when you want to change it, just do this.
So that is pretty much it. So I've put the shelving back, I've put the backing back. This is what it will look like underneath the kitchen sink. Well, that's how it kind of should look. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. But for all the tips and tricks, we've got quite a few videos coming up. So this is one of many. So we'll be showing you how to fit a toilet, kitchen tap, all stuff, just real basic stuff. Okay, so that's a wrap. So don't forget to check out our other videos up here for tips and tricks.